I just saw a story. I glanced at the New York Post, one of my favorite papers in America, as I walked into the studio. Do you know that because of all of the anti-Semitic, terrorist-loving monsters who are terrorizing people in New York City, literally going on subways and saying, "Who's the Jew? Stand up if you're a Zionist. Stand up if you're a Jew." And all these monsters and cretins are wearing masks. They've all got masks on. So now, New York government officials are considering a ban on masks in public places. How's this going to work with all the nervous New Yorkers who think that their mask is going to keep them from dying of COVID? And there's a lot of those people in New York. There's a lot of those people in blue cities. Leftists are terrified of COVID, period. There's no other way around this. This is a political divide. We all know it. There is a political rift between people who are living in fear, completely convinced that they're about to drop dead because somebody's going to breathe on them in a bus or a train or in a mall or outside, or evidently in the car. I saw another lady yesterday in the car, windows rolled up, by herself, wearing a mask. And I hate to beat up on people like her. Maybe she just forgot. I don't know. Maybe people forget they've got it on. But I guarantee you, people like her are fearful. Maybe for good reason. I don't know. I mean, it's none of my business, frankly. Let her live her life. If she wants to drive around in her little Kia with a mask on by herself with the windows rolled up, I don't know what to do for her or about her. None of my business. But I do know there are people like the woman I saw yesterday in Tampa, Florida, who are afraid. So how's the ban on masks in New York going to work now? What about that lady or people like her who wouldn't think of getting on a subway without wearing a mask? They wouldn't dream of boarding an airplane without a mask or going to a shopping mall. How's that going to work? I mean, it fascinates me that New York government officials realize the error of their ways. And now they're trying to undo all the mess that they've created. You know how many people have committed crimes in America wearing these masks over their faces so they can't be identified? But because we've acquiesced to people who are fearful of COVID, now we got a world-class mess on our hands. So let me just put it to you, 1-800-655-MIKE, caller-driven show. I want you to flood my phone lines with your reaction to the news out of New York that Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams are considering a ban on masks on the subways and on the buses and in public spaces. How are you going to have a ban on masks when people are terrified? Many people who live in New York City are terrified of COVID and they can't exist without wearing one. How's this going to work? Jump aboard and join us. We're in the Relief Factor studios in a great mood, off to Detroit after the show to attend the People's Convention. I'll give you a preview of that incredible event in a couple of minutes. We're off to Orlando next week for the big summit there. But in the meantime, I want you to tackle this issue. How does this work? How's a ban on masks? What's your reaction to New York government officials now banning masks on buses, trains, subways, public places? Just how exactly is that going to work?